The ancient signal. Commander Vexillar's primary sensory stalks twitched involuntarily as the data scrolled across the quantum display. The astral seeker had been charting the outer reaches of the Cygnus arm for routine survey work when their sensors detected something impossible. "Run the analysis again," Vexillar ordered, six-fingered hands dancing across the neural interface of the ship's command center. Science Officer Jurel moved to comply, her bioluminescent skin pulsing with excitement. "Commander, I've already verified it 3 times. The signal is authentic, and it's strengthening." The massive exploration vessel hung in space above a world that had been classified as dead for over 4 millennia. Europa 426, once known simply as Earth. "That's not possible," Vexillar muttered. "This world has been quarantined since the Great Disappearance." Every spacefaring species knew the legend. Humans, a primitive but explosively creative species, had appeared suddenly on the galactic scene, fought a brutal war against the first wave of devourers, and then vanished completely. Their homeworld was abandoned, their colonies empty. Only ruins remained, far too advanced to properly understand, with warnings etched in materials that had not degraded in 4,000 years. The Galactic Concord had declared the system forbidden, partly out of respect, partly out of fear. "The signal pattern is unlike anything in our databases," Jurel continued. "But it's organized, purposeful. It contains mathematics, Commander. Prime numbers, quantum signatures. It's a beacon." Before Vexillar could respond, the ship's emergency systems blared to life. His secondary communication stalks pivoted toward the tactical officer. "Incoming transmission from Concord Command," the officer reported, voice tight with tension. "Priority Alpha." The holographic display materialized in the center of the bridge. High Marshal Corin's severe features appeared, the elder Arcturian's expression grim enough to send a ripple of dread through Vexillar's central nerve cluster. "Commander Vexillar, your new orders supersede all previous directives." Chorin began without preamble. "The Devourers have returned. 3 systems in the Orion Spur have gone silent. Millions of souls just gone." A cold dread settled into Vexillar's core. The Devourers, mindless cosmic horrors that consumed entire worlds, were supposed to be extinct, destroyed in the human war 4 millennia ago. "Evacuate the research team from Europa 426 immediately," Chorin continued. "All vessels are being recalled to." "High Marshal," Vexillar interrupted, breaking protocol. "We're detecting a signal from the planet's surface. It activated less than 30 minutes ago." Corin went silent, all 4 of his eyes widening. "Show me." Jurel transmitted the data. The bridge fell silent as the High Marshal studied the signal pattern. When he spoke again, his voice had changed, carrying an emotion Vexillar had never heard from the Stoic leader. "Hope. Stay in orbit. Do not approach the surface. Do not attempt contact. The 7th Fleet is diverting to your position. Hold until they arrive." "Sir, what's happening?" Vexillar asked. The High Marshal's expression became unreadable. "The old stories may be true after all. The humans didn't just disappear, Commander. They were building something." The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. "Commander," the sensor officer called out, voice cracking. "You need to see this." The main view screen shifted to show the planet's surface. Massive structures were rising from beneath the ancient oceans, geometric patterns of gleaming metal breaking through the waves. Energy readings spiked beyond anything their instruments could properly measure as reality itself seemed to warp around the emerging structures. "By the first light," Jurel whispered. "They've been here all along." The ship's communication system activated without their input, a voice filling the bridge, speaking perfect modern galactic standard despite its age. "Genetic profiles detected. Species identification confirmed. Welcome, children of the stars. We've been waiting a very long time." Before their eyes, the massive structures aligned and began to rotate, creating a controlled vortex in space-time itself. Through it, they could see vast chambers extending deep into the Earth, filled with row upon row of stasis pods. They were opening. The beings that emerged moved with precision and purpose, humanoid forms encased in armor that seemed to bend reality around them, carrying weapons that radiated power beyond modern comprehension. Your Concord designates them Devourers, the voice continued, now tinged with something that might have been satisfaction. An apt name, though we knew them by another. We've spent 4,000 years preparing for their return. A figure materialized on their bridge, a human female in armor that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Her eyes held the weight of millennia, but they were sharp with purpose. I am Admiral Maya Ortega of the Terran Defense Initiative. 4,000 years ago, we discovered what the Devourers truly were, and we knew we weren't ready. The holographic display showed vast fleets emerging from quantum storage around Earth, ships that defied physics and weapons that could rewrite reality. So we did what humanity does best, Maya continued. We adapted. We transformed our entire civilization into a weapon, went into stasis, and let our AIs spend millennia perfecting our technology and evolution. Vexlar found his voice at last. You've been here the whole time. Preparing. Not just preparing, Commander. Becoming. Maya's expression hardened. The Devourers remember us. That's why they're moving so quickly now. They sense we're awakening. Around Earth, thousands more stasis pods continued to open, releasing warriors who had dreamed of this moment for 4 millennia. A High Marshal is sending the 7th Fleet, Vexlar offered. Maya smiled, a predator's expression that sent chills down Vexlar's spine. Good. They can watch. She turned toward the view screen, her armor shifting and reconfiguring. Humanity's been sleeping long enough. It's time we finished what we started. The transformation of Earth continued with breathtaking precision, turning from a supposedly dead world into humanity's fortress. Massive quantum engineering complexes rose from beneath ancient oceans, each movement choreographed by artificial intelligences that had spent millennia perfecting their deployment. Admiral Ortega stood beside Vexlar on the Astral Seeker's observation deck, her quantum-enhanced armor making subtle adjustments to match the ship's artificial gravity. Your people thought we were running away, she said, watching a fleet of vessels emerge from subspace storage. In truth, we were running toward something. The ships defied conventional design, their hulls rippling with patterns that hurt Vexlar's eyes to observe directly. What exactly were you running toward, Admiral? Evolution. Maya waved her hand, and a holographic display materialized between them, showing the Devourers, not as mindless cosmic horrors, but as tools, weapons created by something far older and more sinister. They aren't natural phenomena, she explained. They're tools created by something that's been guiding galactic evolution for millions of years. We found evidence in their quantum signatures during our first war with them. Shirel moved closer, her luminescence dimming with realization. You're suggesting some intelligence has been testing spacefaring civilizations. Not testing. Sculpting. Maya's eyes reflected the hologram's glow as it showed patterns of extinction events spanning millions of years. Every 50,000 years, a new version appears, more advanced, more adaptive. Species that survive become stronger. Those that don't become part of the next iteration. A massive quantum gate activated above Earth's North Pole, disgorging what appeared to be a research station that dwarfed most cities. We spent our first 1,000 years in stasis just studying the patterns, Maya continued. The next 3,000 were spent becoming something the Devourers' creators never anticipated. The station's outer layers peeled back, revealing arrays of sensors and probability engines that operated on principles Vexlar couldn't begin to comprehend. Your weapons, he said, suddenly understanding. They're not just designed to destroy the Devourers. Maya's smile held no warmth. Every adaptation they make, every evolution they achieve in response to our attacks, it all carries quantum signatures we can follow. The more they fight us, the closer we get to finding what's been playing games with galactic evolution. An alarm blared through the astral seeker. Multiple Devourer fleets had emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. Their biomechanical ships, each the size of a small moon, moved with unsettling coordination. "Right on schedule," Maya said, her armor shifting into combat configuration. "They remember enough to know they need to stop us from fully awakening. What they don't understand is that we've been awake the whole time, dreaming of this moment." Earth's defensive systems activated in perfect synchronization. Quantum fields layered reality itself around the planet, while weapon platforms that had waited millennia for this moment powered up. The human ships moved to intercept, their impossible geometries already beginning to affect local spacetime. "Your ship should withdraw to a safe distance, Commander." Maya turned to Vexlar, her expression serious. "What's about to happen here? Reality is going to get a bit fluid." But Vexlar stood his ground, all four of his hearts pounding with a mixture of fear and determination. "My people have lost too much to run now. Let us fight beside you." Maya studied him for a moment, then nodded. "Humanity stood alone against them once. We don't have to this time." She opened a command channel to the awakening human forces. "All units, coordinate with allied vessels. Show them what 4,000 years of preparation looks like." The Devourers struck first, their ships distorting space as they launched their attack. But humanity had spent millennia preparing for this exact moment. Their ships phased through the assault, weapons firing streams of quantum-entangled energy that didn't just destroy the enemy vessels, they rewrote the laws of physics around them. Vexlar watched in awe as human warriors in powered armor quantum shifted between Devourer ships, planting devices that turned the creature's adaptive nature against them. Each human movement was precise, practiced, the result of countless simulated battles fought during their long sleep. "Your entire civilization," he said, watching the battle unfold. "Every human agreed to this." "Not all," Maya admitted, coordinating the defense through her neural interface. "Some colonies chose to remain awake, watching from the shadows. Others went beyond known space, preparing contingencies we pray will never be needed." Her gaze remained fixed on the battle as she continued. "But Earth became our fortress, our arsenal, and our promise to return when the galaxy needed us most." The battle raged on, and with each exchange, the Devourers adapted, incorporating stolen human technology into their forms. But Maya merely smiled. "That's it," she whispered. "Show us where you came from." Humanity hadn't just awakened from their long sleep. They had emerged as hunters, armed with weapons beyond comprehension and driven by a single purpose: to find what had been manipulating galactic life for millions of years. The Devourers had awakened giants. Now they would learn they had actually roused something far more dangerous, a species that had spent 4 millennia becoming the ultimate predator. The reckoning. The colony world of Lyra Prime burned. The Devourers had struck without warning, their biomechanical ships darkening the skies above the planet's crystal cities. But this time, something was different. The creatures' usual consumption patterns had changed. They were being methodical, precise, almost desperate. Through the astral seeker's quantum sensors, Commander Vexlar watched as they systematically destroyed research facilities and data centers, as if searching for something specific. "They're afraid," Admiral Maya Ortega said, her armor's neural interface streaming battle data directly to her consciousness. The human admiral stood on the bridge of her flagship, the Prometheus, as it emerged from quantum space above Lyra Prime. The ship was a testament to 4 millennia of human engineering. Its hull rippled with dark energy patterns, its very existence seeming to bend reality around it. Behind it emerged an entire battle fleet, ships that had waited thousands of years for this moment. "Lyra Prime has a population of 6 billion, Vexlar reported, his sensory stalks pulsing with urgency. "The evacuation ships won't arrive in time." Maya's expression hardened. "They won't need to. All units, execute Operation Stormbreak. Show them why we spent 4,000 years in the dark." The human fleet moved with impossible coordination, ships phasing through spacetime, appearing inside the Devourer's formation. But it was their weapons that demonstrated just how far humanity had evolved. Quantum phase cannons fired streams of energy that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Where they struck, Devourer ships didn't just die. They unraveled, their adaptive biological material unable to cope with weapons that rewrote the laws of physics around them. From the Prometheus's launch bays emerged swarms of combat drones that the humans called seraphim wings. They moved like liquid light, their quantum fields disrupting the Devourer's hive-mind connection. Each drone operated on principles that defied conventional physics, their attacks striking not just through space, but through probability itself. But the Devourers were adapting. Their ships began to shift, incorporating aspects of human technology into their forms. Crude quantum fields flickered around their vessels as they attempted to match humanity's dimensional warfare. Jurel's crystalline form vibrated with concern. They're learning from each engagement. At this rate, let them learn, Maya interrupted, a grim smile playing across her face. Each adaptation, each evolution, they're leaving quantum signatures we can trace. The more they fight us, the closer we get to finding their creators. The battle for Lyra Prime became a demonstration of why humanity had spent 4 millennia preparing. Soldiers in quantum-enhanced armor teleported directly into Devourer ships, planting devices that turned the creature's own adaptive nature against them. Reality itself seemed to warp and twist as human weapons struck with the precision of thousands of years of simulation and planning. But it was more than just advanced technology. Every human movement, every tactical decision showed the weight of millennia of preparation. They fought like a species that had spent 4,000 years dreaming of this exact moment. "We're detecting quantum signatures we've never seen before," Vexler reported, his sensors struggling to process the data. The Devourers, they're trying to communicate. Through the quantum noise came patterns, not random, but structured, desperate. Maya's eyes narrowed. They'd never tried to communicate before, patch it through. The transmission manifested as a series of shifting geometric patterns in the air between them, translating into concepts rather than words. CEC//danger// beyond understanding. "They're warning us," Jurel whispered, her luminescence dimming. "No," Maya countered, studying the patterns. "They're afraid of what we'll find if we keep following their quantum trail." She stepped forward, her armor reconfiguring to interact with the alien communication. "Where are your creators?" she demanded. "What is their purpose?" The response came in a flood of geometric nightmares. "Exist/parec/harvest/ascend." Harvest what? Maya pressed. The patterns shifted, became more complex. "Potentil/adaptation/survival/worthy." Understanding dawned on Vexlar, like a supernova. They're not just testing civilizations. They're harvesting something from the survivors. Evolution itself, Maya confirmed, her expression grim. The traits that allow species to survive their cullings, that's what they're after. A new alarm sounded, cutting through the moment. One of the Devourer vessels was changing, its entire structure collapsing inward before exploding outward in a riot of impossible geometries. The creature that emerged was no longer a ship but something else entirely, a beam of pure quantum potential that existed in multiple states simultaneously. "What is that?" Vexlar gasped. "Their next evolution," Maya said, her voice hardening. "Or their overseer. All units, converge on the quantum anomaly. This is what we've been waiting for." The human fleet responded instantly, their ships forming a complex three-dimensional pattern around the entity. Weapons charge, not firing yet but ready. The entity pulsed, and when it spoke, it did so directly into their minds. "Chichel Durian of Earth, UAVEXEEDDD parameters. Your evolution was me int to be RNCJ elsewhere." Maya stepped forward, her armor systems adapting to shield her mind. "We were never yours to direct," she responded. "What are you?" "We are ETEGARDNERS. We QLTIGAPOTNTIL. We harvest adaptation. All evolve through our guidance." "You mean you slaughter trillions to farm whatever traits allow some to survive?" Maya countered, disgust evident in her voice. "That ends today." The entity's form shifted, growing more complex, more threatening. "Your resist ANC was anti-side. Your DFI was not. You will be studied. Your adaptations preserve heat." "You misunderstand," Maya said, and for the first time she smiled. A predator's smile, cold and fierce. "We didn't spend 4,000 years hiding from you. We spent it hunting you." At her command, the human fleet activated their primary weapons, not directed at the entity, but at space-time itself around it. Reality twisted, folded, compressed. The quantum matrices they'd spent millennia developing didn't attempt to destroy the creature. They trapped it, isolated it from the fabric of the universe. "This change is no thing. We are EVE. YWE. We are ETERNL." "Maybe," Maya conceded, "but we've been tracking your quantum signatures across 17 dimensions. Your network is vast, but not infinite. And now we know exactly how to find every one of you." The entity's form began to destabilize as the quantum prison tightened around it. "You can and OTQOMPREHEND what you do. Evolution requires guidance. Without DCYCL, CHAOS. Life finds a way," Maya interrupted. "Without your guidance, without your harvests, we'll take our chances with chaos." With a final command, she activated the quantum seal. The entity's form collapsed in on itself, compressed into a singularity, and then vanished, not destroyed, but removed from their reality entirely. Silence fell across the bridge of the Prometheus. "Is it over?" Vexlar asked, his sensory stalks quivering. "No," Maya said, removing her helmet. Without it, she looked almost fragile. A being of flesh and blood who had carried the weight of humanity's survival for 4 millennia. That was just one node in their network, but now we can track the others. She turned to face Vexlar and the gathered representatives of the Galactic Concord who had witnessed humanity's return. 4,000 years ago, we discovered the truth about the Devourers and their masters. We knew we couldn't fight them as we were. Primitive, divided, unprepared. So we made a choice. Holographic displays showed Earth as it had been. Billions of humans entering stasis chambers, their civilization transforming into something new while they slept. We didn't abandon the galaxy, Maya continued. We were becoming what it needed, hunters who could track these gardeners to their source. And now, High Marshal Corin asked, having arrived with the 7th Fleet during the battle. Now we need allies, Maya said simply. Humanity has awakened with one purpose, to end the cycle of harvest that has plagued this galaxy for millions of years. But we can't do it alone. She extended her hand, a gesture that had survived 4 millennia of human evolution. Will you stand with us? Vexlar looked at the human, a being from a species that had sacrificed everything, that had slept for 4,000 years dreaming of this fight. Without hesitation, he placed his 6-fingered hand in hers. The Concord stands with Earth. One by one, the representatives of a dozen species joined them, beings who had evolved across the vast expanse of the galaxy, each carrying the legacy of countless ancestors who had survived previous cullings without ever understanding why. Together, they would hunt the gardeners across reality itself. 3 months later, Commander Vexlar stood on the observation deck of the newly commissioned Concordia, a joint human Concord vessel that represented the first true collaboration between humanity and the galaxy they had returned to protect. Beside him, Admiral Ortega watched as the quantum drives powered up, preparing to take them beyond the boundaries of known space. "Are you certain your intelligence is correct?" Vexlar asked. "The Gardener's homeworld." "As certain as we can be," Maya replied. "The quantum signatures all converge there, in the void between galaxies. That's where they've been watching from. That's where they've been directing evolution for millions of years. And if we fail?" Maya's expression remained resolute. "Then the next cycle begins. But humanity didn't sleep for 4,000 years to fail now." She turned to face the assembled fleet, thousands of ships from dozens of species, all united for the first time in galactic history. Besides, she added with a smile that held both warmth and steel, "We're not alone anymore." The quantum drives engaged, and the fleet vanished into the depths of space, carrying with them the hopes of countless worlds. The gardeners had spent millions of years harvesting evolution, culling civilizations to extract whatever traits allowed some to survive their tests. They had never anticipated that one day their test subjects would come hunting for them. Humanity had awakened from their long sleep, not as refugees or survivors, but as the galaxy's protectors, a role they had spent 4,000 years preparing to fulfill. The quiet was over, the hunt had begun, and the universe would never be the same.